There are studies that especially in males, the testosterone levels are getting decreased now, especially in the males who are in their late 30s or 40s and 50s. And females are now more evolving and demanding.
Does it really take a lot of time when you are under Ayurvedic treatment compared to the medicines that or the new science that people believe in?
If you are eating your food as your medicine, you will not be eating medicine as food in your later life.
Right. In terms of treatment, which is more expensive? Is it allopathy that actually burns the pocket, or is it Ayurveda which is equally affordable?
You were talking about PCOS and PCOD. The size of ovaries are getting reduced in the report. The clinical symptoms are getting reduced. The cycles are getting normal. So people are dying from alcohol. People are dying from smoking and tobacco. And medically, if practiced hemp, it is an excellent de-addiction. It's not only these. The highest level of drug addiction can be handled with medical hemp, which we are handled.
How do you think that in today's world, when, children are on packed foods, children are not really on the fields the way maybe in our times we used to be, and their lifestyle disorders are highly impacting their, mentality, highly impacting their focus. How does Ayurveda play a role in that? So firstly, doctor, it's a complete pleasure to have you on my podcast channel, Bharat Charcha. And today we are going to break a lot of myths which are surrounding Ayurvedic treatment. A lot of people feel, a layman like me feels that this is something which takes a lot of time to heal. But after doing research about you, after doing the research that, you have been providing your patients with, it feels that there is nothing better than Ayurveda. And before starting this podcast, we had a conversation also. The brief conversation was how one must take this. So we'll begin with you. That how did you start with this journey and how you incorporate Ayurveda practice into your life?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thanks to your followers and subscribers for watching us. I started my journey in Ayurveda, to be very precise, when I was selecting that which kind of professional course I should lead in. And I discovered that Ayurveda is one system where the things are getting healed from the root cause. So I was born and brought up in a setup where I was in allopathic hospital. My father was a pathology head. But you can say a couple of years ago of my this childhood, I got to know about Ayurveda treatments and OPDs and protocols as well. And when I discovered that it is working on the cause and rooting from the roots and the healing from the root cause, then I eventually discovered that I should explore this pathy, and I got admitted in Ayurveda college, and I started my journey as an Ayurveda doctor.
That's amazing. So we were just discussing about few, I don't know if we should tag it as ailments, but we were having discussions that women face PCOD and there is high increase in IVF, fertility rate. Then there are children also जो अब शिकार हो गए obesity के. अब कुछ टाइम पहले आई वाज जस्ट गोइंग थ्रू एन आर्टिकल जिसमें था कि मैल न्यूट्रिशन बच्चे तो सुने थे, अब ओबीस ज़्यादा हो गए, मोर देन मैल न्यूट्रिशन. सो हाउ डज योर आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन work around all these things, and how we can cure people with these kinds of distressful lifestyle? Also, we'll include something relating matrimonial, which is again a reason that is causing a lot of separation. I myself, I go through all these cases. So I want to know that how Ayurveda can build a strong connection between couples with the medicines, and how IVF and all these things can be cured and taken care of.
See, first of all, I will take your, in two parts, your questions. One, I will touch upon the fact that how Ayurveda is relevant, as you said, or why we all should take Ayurveda as a system of, it's not about medicine only, by the way. I will say it's a system of health. So when you think about Ayurveda and you see the objective of Ayurveda, this is our acharyas have documented. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam means prevention of the health of a healthy human being. Aturasya vikar prashmanam cha means treating the patients, unhealthy people. So Ayurveda has two objectives: preserving the health of healthy individuals and treating the patients. So in that, Ayurveda is acting as a system of health, and there are so many diet and lifestyle modifications which we can do as per Ayurveda. So in Ayurveda, we talk about Vat, Pitta, Kapha, and we talk about Saturaj, Tam. So any emergency medicine, life-threatening issues, surgeries, still we have an evolved system.
Right.
But for lifestyle disorders, In fact, in certain emergencies also we have seen that Ayurveda is working better during the time of COVID and also in the infections.
Okay.
Then all these chronic issues. So where Ayurveda plays a very important role in terms of healing from the root cause, and whatever we are discussing and we are talking here
Right.
is published, and I only talk where research has been submitted and proven that Ayurveda is working. And as far as the intimacy health is concerned, now we all match Kundli sometimes whenever people are getting married,
Yeah,
or
that's
they
true.
talk about themselves. No, nobody is bothered about understanding their prakritis like Vatit Kaf, or nobody is bothered that Sattva Raj Tam. See, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic pravrittis are, everyone has their own ratios. So criminals are more Tamasic, some leaders, some businessmen will have dominant Rajasic, some intellectual people, some professionals like advocate, maybe Rajasic or maybe Sattvic. So it's a combination. So when we talk about couples, we never see that what is their prakriti, what is their sattva-rajtam ratios. And sometimes that imbalance in wife and husband or a male or female partner
Interesting.
of these qualities leads to the differentiating issues, the misunderstandings. It's not their fault, it's their prakriti. So sometimes the same also repels, like both pitta means both have very high level of anger,
Right.
short-tempered, very high level of anger, extreme pittas. Two pittas will always collide, but one pitta and one kapha, sometimes the kapha is more subtle, more slow, calm, not that angry. So that pitta and kapha can be gelling together
Right.
more better as compared to two pittas. Although two pittas sometimes can handle positive energies as well, but sometimes they can get into issues. So we have seen those kind of conflicts in many,
I agree.
and if they understand those, and that also reflects to their physical satisfaction these days. Female are getting more evolved. They are talking about time. There are studies that especially in males the testosterone levels are getting decreased now,
Yeah.
especially in the males who are in their late 30s or 40s and 50s. And females are now more evolving and demanding. So there are gaps coming up in those zones as well, with somebody people are not talking. Sometimes it's just a 6 month of unprotected relationship being documented, and most of them females are they're getting responsible. But 50%, more than 50% cases, males are responsible in terms of either their counts or their performance. They're not able to perform well. That's why the couple is not conceiving.
Okay.
Nobody is talking about this.
Yes.
So we need to understand all these issues, and we need to understand that on both levels, each other partners are, first of all, it's not only about physical, it's about emotional, it's about mental,
Yes.
it's about social. Every aspects are healthy, and then they can lead to a healthy couple and healthy life together.
Right. No, that's very well put actually, because in this hustle bustle of life, in daily life, everybody is forgetting what is the root cause. And I think just as, people have this habit of taking their decisions and not knowing
Right.
whether they're suitable, whether the match is good, whether this will go towards the longevity or no. This, I think, today's generation has stopped thinking that. So, मुझे ये भी जानना है कि आयुर्वेदा इन सब का इलाज ज़रूर बताता है, बट एक लेमैन को नहीं पता कि आयुर्वेदा में इतनी सारी चीज़ों के बारे में भी पता लग सकता है. तो ये हम मैक्सिमम लोगों के पास, मतलब उन तक कैसे पहुँचाएं इस बात को, that Ayurveda actually has a lot of things that can be cured with your day-to-day and routine lifestyle as well.
देखिए इसमें सिंपल है, हमें
आपका पोर्टल भी है जो मुझे पता है.
हाँ जी, Indian Vedas is the platform.
Right.
And let's again get it in a very simple way. We are a people like right now in a global village. We call it as a global
Yeah.
village. The entire world is there. So one of the most ancient heritage of health is either India, China, Japan, Korea. These are one of the oldest. So some parts of Africa. These are one of the oldest documented heritage of knowledge, in which India, like having the Vedas, the one of the oldest book are Vedas,
Right.
in which Ayurveda is a part of Atharvaveda. So let's talk about a sensible history here. Ayurveda is not a mythological document; it's our history. First of all, let's very clear about
Very
it.
ancient, yes.
So it's a history, means whatever has been documented has been practiced, years of like knowledge, years of like heritage of that, and we have been destroyed and attacked so many times that that knowledge decomposed or degraded or destroyed as well. Still, our seniors or our acharyas have preserved some partial knowledge, and due to that, we are able to heal right now. And it is nothing, it is just connecting you to back to the nature. You are eating so many herbs, so many food items,
Right.
which themselves there are like kind of healing you if you are eating in a correct ratio as per your prakriti.
Which means that food, right kind of food is also important.
Yes,
While you're taking Ayurvedic medicine.
absolutely. It has been taken, it has been like well documented that if you are eating your food as your medicine, you will not be eating medicine as food in your later life.
Right. That's true. I agree.
So how you will be determining that what kind of food can act your medicine? Ayurveda is one of the best system of medicine to describe that. For example, curd. Now curd and buttermilk, that is chach or matha, few people should not take curd. Instead of that, they should take takr or buttermilk or matha, because the tasir of both are different.
Okay.
So for example, for a hyperacidity patient,
Right.
if he or she taking curd, it will elevate the problem. But if they are taking matha or takr, it will help them.
So I think there are so many basic things only that people have to learn about themselves. And since Ayurveda is a very ancient teaching, learning, however we put it, वो तभी पता चल सकती है when we have the right kind of doctors also in Ayurveda who can actually explain people what is this whole science about, right?
So I will also add on to one thing. So first of all, we need to understand thousands of years ago how beautifully our acharyas have mentioned. Generally, when we go to a meal, these days we eat our desserts at last. So in Ayurveda, it is said that Madhur, Aml, Lavan, Katu, Tik, Kashay. There are 6 rasas, Shad rasas. First of all, these Shad rasas are getting vanished from our food. You see any traditional regional thali like Gujarati thali, South Indian thali, Marathi thali, Rajasthani thali, they have these Shad rasas in them.
Right.
And what we do is we eat desserts after we eat our food. But Ayurveda says when Madhur or dessert is one of the most toughest thing to digest. So when your Agni is strongest, when you are hungry. So first of all, you have to eat dessert. So the first thing you eat when you are hungry or you are taking your meal is your dessert. Eat your dessert first and then finish your meal.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So this Ayurveda is saying, because scientifically when you eat everything, your Agni or your digestive power, it has a minimum level, and after everything, the most complex form of thing which you are eating, that is dessert, you are eating, then it will be hard to digest as compared to it will be initially. And this is very basic concept.
So I think I'm a person who always, I don't only say, but I always prefer having sweet first before my food. And I could not really relate to the logic, but that has always been my craving for my body.
Right.
And the minute I take sweet, so after that, my normal food appears to be more tastier. I don't know how, but that's how I've been following it.
Right.
So you break another myth and you come to the facts that are important for people to understand. Very well. I want to know, doctor, that your clinical research, the background, all that you have done so far, how does that help you or other doctors in Ayurvedic practice?
See, our respected Prime Minister, in one speech, he said that whenever we need to empower or enforce or kind of fortify our soft powers like Ayurveda or anything,
Yes.
we should talk in the language which world understand.
Yes.
So unless or until we are not talking and we are not making sense of Ayurveda on the fundamentals of clinical research, that is evidence, nobody will believe. Do not believe whatever we are recording the content here, but I am talking right now, if that is making sense on the scientific parameters or evidence. So we practice evidence-based Ayurveda medicines, New Age Ayurveda. We are creating evidences in terms of if somebody is diabetic, is their HbA1c level are reducing? If somebody is having some kidney stones or gallbladder stones, are they getting removed from the ultrasonography report? You were talking about PCOS and PCOD. The size of ovaries are getting reduced in the report. The clinical symptoms are getting reduced. The cycles are getting normal. So if we have these documented evidence that yes, this is working, this is in my front, that my levels are getting decreased, somebody is suffering from prostate, having a size of 55, 56, and with our medicine, it is again getting back to 24. A Bulgarian patient, he has created a video testimonial for us as well.
Okay.
So his doctor said that you are a young now, because your prostate is at a young age level size, 24, which he was having 57. So these significant changes with Ayurveda, we are able to make in their life with evidence. Okay. So this is an evidence-based practice, which everybody will understand, and the documentation of that is known as clinical research.
Right.
So when our respected PM said that on one front, I remember in 2017, So the entire Ayurveda adopted, and I was having an exhaustive experience of clinical research industry from last, say, around, I started my journey there. I worked in groups like Max and GlaxoSmithKline. So,
It's been 2 decades, if I'm not
yes,
wrong.
yes. So I think you're absolutely right. The entire world should see that how Ayurveda can create evidence.
Yes.
And on the basis of that evidence, we Indians should be proud that this is our soft power. And the entire world is ready to. I went to UAE.
People are adopting it now. I mean, Indians, there is something that, if they get a backup or they get an affirmation from Western side, then they feel, okay, this is right. But you have it in your house, you have it in your country. Why would you not believe before that, this is a practice which has been from ancient times? And I feel that by now, it should have been recognized in a manner where there would have been like plenty of Ayurvedic hospitals by now. That's what I feel. I wish that they never believed in that notion that, okay, once we get a approval from the Western side, then only it's best. Otherwise, it's not.
No, the problem.
Which is very funny, I feel.
No, the problem, the irony with Ayurveda is there are three ironies right now. One is Ayurveda. Why I'm saying this, I went to UAE, I went to Kazakhstan, South Africa, Mauritius in last 1 year. And when I interacting with people there, we discussed, and in fact in India also, everybody said nobody has discussed Ayurveda as an ecosystem till now with us.
Right.
Either people are discussing as a product, as a commodity, or they are discussing as a service. But when we talk about Ayurveda as an ecosystem, that how they can help, and the part is UAE, South Africa, all these countries have recognized Ayurveda as a system of medicine, by the way. Ayurveda is a recognized system of medicine there, but still not been talked, explored or understood as an ecosystem that how it can help them. Ayurveda is reached as a product. You may be having herbal toothpaste, herbal hair oil, herbal face wash, herbal this, herbal that. So Ayurveda is reached as a product to households. But Ayurveda has not reached as an ecosystem or the first line of treatment that if I am getting unhealthy, can I go to Ayurveda first rather than starting a chemical based? We are not against any chemical based pathy or system of medicine. As I said, in emergency, in life threatening, in those conditions, apart from that, if there are solutions with herbal, it's only about herbal and chemical. The less chemicals we put in our body, the better we will live.
Yes.
This everybody knows.
Right.
So if we can get the same solution with some herbal or natural rather than any synthetic or chemical form, why not?
Right. And slightly, doctor, can you let us know that does it really take a lot of time when you are under Ayurvedic treatment compared to the medicines that or the new science that people believe in? I am sure relevantly, I would say not much, but what is the span that you would want to describe here today?
Over a decade of insomnia or people are not able to sleep, we are resolving in few days. People suffering from lifestyle disorders from last 10-15 years, diabetes, hypertension, hypothyroidism, we are resolving in few months. Sometimes renal stones or those kind of issues we are resolving in few weeks. Sometimes the infections we are resolving in few days. Sometimes in few minutes, sometimes in few seconds also.
Right.
So it depends on if you add Panchkarma treatments and therapies, if you add certain other paramedical process in Ayurveda, Ayurveda is healing faster than any pathy. So it's a myth that Ayurveda is slow.
Yes.
Depending on the root cause, Ayurveda works. So sometimes from the root cause, it will take time because your body needs 3 months to regenerate the new cells.
Okay.
We need to understand, and this is science, this is not Ayurveda.
Right.
So we need 3 months to regenerate a new entire structure of cells. And if we fortify that with herbs, any system or any organ can be nourished, say within next 3 to 6 months or 9 months. It's a very simple scientific basic theory I am discussing here. You're just nourishing that. And how Ayurveda acts is, Ayurveda acts as a catalyst sometime. Your body regenerates its inside in you in many ways. And again, this is proven.
Yes.
So Ayurveda sometimes acts as a catalyst, Ayurveda sometimes doing repair, Ayurveda sometimes do cleaning or toxins removal. So I said all of you must be having a car or a bike or any automobile, and we are taking our car and bike to a service center. But the most precious asset which God has given us is our body. We are not taking this to any service center, we are not cleaning this, we are not changing our oils, we are not greasing this, we are not oiling this, we are not doing detox.
Yes.
Why we are not doing?
I wanted to ask you about this only because we just discussed, like sometimes, due to pollution, due to poor lifestyle, maybe due to stress levels also, people, they feel very fatigued. and everybody is rushing to the pills, like quick medicine. Why? Because you feel, okay, there's a lot of head pain and, there's congestion, you're unable to breathe. Of course, we have to blame our surroundings and how the climate is changing. So for that also, I want the viewers to know that it's not only about a modern science that can cure you, but Ayurveda is the first-hand treatment that you can rely upon, if I'm right, doctor. Is that true?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, we need to understand here is, at any point of time, any pathology. So there is a human physiology which is working, and to any disease, there is a pathology or a reason. So once the diagnosis is fine, that what kind of issues and what kind of reasons are there, Ayurveda again acts as a complete system of medicine. Sometimes we are taking something as a diet we should not be. Sometimes our lifestyle is wrong, we need to change that. Sometimes there are certain issues which can be helped with the medicines. Sometimes we need panchkarma treatments or therapies. Sometimes, for example, in cases of piles, fissure, fistula, Shar Sutra medicated thread ligation therapy is better and proven again in Banaras Hindu University, in All India Institute, it has been proven. Swan Prashan, Rajya Sabha has discussed about this, by the way. In kids, it is an excellent holistic approach to grow their immunity, to protect them from infections, their growth, their brain development. Everywhere, Swan Prashan has significantly improved the quality of life. You must be aware about, there were, a few years back, I will just discuss this incident. One of the area in Gorakhpur or nearby villages, most of the kids were dying with this viral encephalitis or dimagi bukhar. But when our Honorable Chief Minister Yogi ji took over, he ensured that on one side all the nutritional deficiencies should be mapped. On the other side, allopathic doctors and Ayurveda doctors did Swan Prashan in each and every village. And now you see from last few years, there are very minimum death as compared to it has been in few years back. Okay. And very scientifically, they have managed to reduce that at a very significant level. And this has been documented and presented on our platform a couple of years ago. King George Medical University took this project and they have presented that entire project on our platform couple of years ago, that they have easily managed to improve the health of those kids. Those were dying. Can you imagine that?
That's a big achievement.
Yes, so the Ayurveda is very fast and very effective if implemented timely.
That's absolutely right. If implemented timely, which is very important to understand. Because I think it's just a hearsay. You hear somebody saying, no, Ayurveda takes a lot of time. And you hear, no, so-and-so medicines, they are much quicker. So I feel it's just a way people just spread a narrative. And besides that narrative, they do not want to shift the mentality. And that's why it keeps growing that way.
Right.
But while having a conversation with you, while having conversation about Ayurveda, its medicines, cure, I have relatively gained my faith with this conversation that nothing is impossible. When we can talk about curing IVF, when we can talk about PCOD, like every second house you hear people talking about that, we are visiting doctors, we are showing ourselves, and still results are not palpable and nothing is working. So I think when we have reached that level where we are handling such big stresses and looking for the cure also for such treatments, I am sure then the treatment, of course, has to be way more quicker than what mentality people have grown within themselves. And it has worked, such as you gave us a very big example.
Absolutely. And as you are talking about Ayurveda is fast or slow, I can give you again a couple of examples. All the leading painkillers in this world.
Yeah.
If you talk about top 10 painkillers, 6 or 7 are natural or synthetic derivative of opium or morphine. That means afim. Opium, morphine, that is afim. So top 10, and I'm talking about allopathy by the way here. Top 10 allopathic painkillers, you research, 6 or 7 are derivatives of either chemical or natural derivatives of opium or morphine or afim. And in Ayurveda, thousands of years ago, our Rishi Muni has said that from opium afim or from cannabis hemp, we can create painkiller medicine, which in 1985, our government deliberately put it in narcotics. And now the biggest medical exporter of medical cannabis or hemp is UK, United Kingdom, the same country which banned that in India.
Okay.
So can you imagine that?
I think that has always been a very European mentality. So recently also, there was a discussion on television that whatever they do is right, whatever their problem is world's problem, but whatever India says is always, not their problem. And as you have said that, if they have really opposed it, but they practice themselves, which is of course a very Western thing, I feel. Coming back to the question, now you'll also have to tell us about, considering that you have the leading experts also with you, you have a portal also wherein, you advise doctors, and there are relevant conversations around Ayurveda. We would also want to know something about cannabis focus in medical terms. So if you can just explain that a little bit, what is that and how important it is?
In Ayurveda, not in Ayurveda, by the way, in Atharveda, there are 5 sacred plants: Neem, Tulsi, Chandan, Jasmine, and Vijaya. If you talk about Tulsi, we worship that plant.
Right.
If you talk about Neem, still it is a positive plant.
Yes.
If you talk about Chandan, we sometimes put our tilak of Chandan, it is a very positive plant. Jasmine again is not that negative. But Vijaya, cannabis or hemp has been intentionally targeted, because if this plant will get the exact level or standard or positivity, it can at least hamper so many chemical based solutions.
Standard of positivity, I'll just ask that a little bit, like what is that?
So for example, this plant has a risk of people getting addicted as well.
Okay.
So we are against recreational. We do not promote recreational at anywhere. But
Right.
as far as the medicinal usage is here, more than 200 formulations in Ayurveda have been registered having Bhanga or Vijaya or hemp as one of the ingredient, and I am talking about the classical form of Ayurveda.
Right.
I am writing a book on that. Very soon I will release that. So more than 200 formulations in Ayurveda are there with Vijaya as one of the ingredient.
Right.
And there is no single death certificate in the entire world till now where the reason of death is cannabis. On the contrary, people are dying from the morphine addiction or morphine dependence in US and in India also now.
Right.
The over usage of painkillers,
Yes.
which I was talking about.
Yes, I hear that now a lot. Yes.
So opium addiction and due to painkillers, due to certain harmful medicines, people are dying.
Yes.
But
It affects the kidney. That's true.
many things.
Yeah.
Basically, the concept is it is killing you slowly. But on the contrary, hemp and cannabis, when practiced ethically or medically, it is saving lives. It has now been regulated in most of the states of US, UK, Australia, South Africa, many countries. In fact, few Islamic countries have also approved medical cannabis and medical hemp. And it has been documented that in those states where it is been regulated, 40% reduction is there in smoking, tobacco and alcohol.
Okay.
So people are dying from alcohol, people are dying from smoking and tobacco. And medically, if practiced hemp, it is an excellent de-addiction. It's not only these, the highest level of drug addiction can be handled with medical hemp, which we are handled. And it is an excellent lifesaver sometime, or I will say improvement in quality of life for cancer patients. So one typical case, we have been referred that patient was crying and they were not able to heal the pain from last 3 days. Patient was not able to sleep due to that pain. And doctors were like, if we are not able to heal this pain, patient will die. And they called us, we sent the medicine, the relative attended us and they took the medicine. And from the first dose, the patient slept for 12 hours. And after that, the pain was subsided and they were very happy. And I'm talking about a very leading hospital in NCR. So there are so many case studies and so many cases are there where quality of life is improving. In fact, in the single herb till now, it has been documented in the research, very interesting. It can convert your negative into positivity. So there is a sleep study where the negative dreams have been converted into positive dreams when people were taking medical hemp on a limited dose and under medical supervision.
So when you say negative dreams into positive, so if you can elaborate that little bit, you mean like bad dreams wherein people are facing challenges in taking proper sleep, and it has helped people taking better sleep after that?
So basically, when we talk about sleep studies, in sleep studies there are tools where it can measure that if you are in the bad dream, then there are certain patterns, and when you are in positive or good dream, there are certain patterns. It is scientifically being documented. Right. So there was a study where when people who were having these negative impacts in their dreams has been given medical hemp, their negativity converts it into positive. So that means it is one of the herbs which can help you in minimizing your negativity. People are dying from suicide, people are having so much of negativity, people are getting criminalized in their mindset. So all these things and all these socioeconomic problems we can handle with these kind of herbs, which is Vijaya. It is excellent in pain management. The first medicine approved from US FDA from cannabis is for pediatric seizures or epilepsy, by the way.
Okay.
So without THC is the component where it is responsible for the recreational aspect. So if we can minimize or reduce that, it is an excellent medicine for pediatric issues, for people who are suffering from Alzheimer, Parkinson, those kind of degeneration. It can slow down the degeneration as well. And whatever I am talking is being documented well in the research articles. So you all can go and search about this.
That's wonderful. In fact, I was just about to ask you that if you would like to narrate an example or tell the viewers that what is the study backed up with, and with examples, that you've already very well put that for us.
Yeah, we can share some references in your comment section in the podcast.
Okay.
So, but I'll ask my team to share some scientific references so that people can correlate with the content and they can refer to that study also, so that they can connect that yes, it is really helping and it is documented whatever we are
I
doing.
think that would be great, because at least people would have a backup that okay, this is the research that has been done. Thank you for that, doctor. So coming back to the cannabis focus again, I want to know that considering one of the India's leading experts, I would say, on cannabis, what led the paths to explore that side of thing in the medicines? What do you think was the main core reason for you to reach there?
Just prior to COVID, I started practicing medical hemp and cannabis. I learned that in the college, but it has not been approved. So in India, still in few states, like for example in Uttar Pradesh, you have bhang ka thekas as well. For example, you have alcohol shops, liquor shops in some state, but in some Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Odisha, they have approved bhang ka thekas also, and people can go and take bhang also. But bhang is made of leaves. So the charas and ganja is made of flower and bud. That is illegal and not allowed in country under narcotics. But the Ayurveda medicines are prepared from leaves and seeds which are out of Narcotics Act, which are not under the purview of NDPS Act. As a doctor, I have also got a reply of my RTI, which I wrote to Narcotics Department, and they have replied that yes, whatever you are practicing in leaves and seeds is out of the purview of NDPS Act. So let me clarify this also.
Very informative, yeah.
Right. So in that way, when you talk about cannabis or hemp, I started practicing and we realized in 3 incidences changed my perception. One was we were dealing with certain kind of infections in the COVID also, and there are superbugs, means all the superbugs means multi-drug resistance, means all the antibiotics are resistant in the report,
right?
Means you are not responding to any antibiotic, and the cultures are getting high, means your infection is increasing. In those cases, we have seen when we are giving certain Ayurveda medicines and medical hemp or medical cannabis, the levels were decreased, and I have some case studies on that as well.
That's phenomenal.
Second is the pain management. Again, the people were suffering from pain in onco cases, and highest level of painkillers were not getting affected, and medical hemp were able to release or relieve their pain within few, sometimes minutes also.
Okay.
And third is the improvement of quality of life of cancer patients. Again, we cannot reverse cancer unless or until we have the medical approval of flower and bud. There is a documentary, Weed the People. It was used to live on Netflix, but now available on internet.
Right.
And in Weed the People, they have documented that 7 out of 8 kids were completely out of cancer after medical hemp. And many allopathic doctors in US, they quit their allopathic practice and they became medical cannabis practitioners.
That's new to me.
That is documented. That is there in the public domain. You can watch that documentary, Weed the People, as well. So people are getting results, but there are certain reasons as well behind not getting so much popular. And this is a sensitive topic as well, coming under narcotics. Some things are under recreational, but states are now getting positive. We have been working with many states. So as India is one of the biggest exporter of medical opium already in some parts of eastern Uttar Pradesh, in Neemach and many other parts in India, there are hubs where India is exporting the medical opium to the entire world. Same way, India can be one of the leading exporter of medical hemp and cannabis as well. As a doctor, I have seen excellent quality of healing in many patients whenever we are practicing Ayurveda along with medical hemp.
I'm sure when you say that, it's true.
Yeah.
I would also request you to share on the comment section the link to that,
Sure.
so that people can go through as a chapter.
Absolutely.
So doctor, when you see, talking to patients is altogether a different thing. When you're training the doctors, how do, with your training and the portal that you have kept it open for the doctors, how do they gain or regain faith on Ayurvedic and cannabis together as a practice, as a form of practice? Do you think that there are challenges that you have to face while you train them and you tell them about it?
Yeah, so first of all, the first confusion we got was NDPS Act because it's a sensitive and it's a non-billable act also, NDPS. So many doctors were confused. But when we filed RTI and when we finally got the response, everybody was like, fine, okay, so we can practice this as a doctor. Second is the accountability should be there. So we need to be accountable, whatever recommendation and prescription we are generating.
Correct.
We should be ethical and we should be sensible in that. That is one very important responsibility which comes on shoulders when you are dealing with the sensitive drugs or chemicals.
Right.
In Ayurveda, this is categorized under Schedule E1. Schedule E1 means you cannot have this without prescription. Although the irony is certain organizations and companies are pitching
Yes.
D2C space, which is wrong. And that's why the government is also a bit negative. It is very irritating that why you are putting this in D2C space as compared to the allopathic pharma fraternity, which are very ethical and they do not
Yes.
put that in the D2C space where they are not allowed to. So that is one concern and what irony. So that's why the doctors were confused, but we gradually evolved with them that yes, and government is now coming up with new reforms, new regulations. They have now put it this disclaimer that every health influencer should have the name and the degree. I don't know if you people are aware or not. So if somebody is talking about that you should eat this or not, but when you see the qualification, they are B-commerce, how that will make sense to you? So there has to be professionals, relevant professionals.
Right.
So you are a lawyer. So if somebody wants to have an opinion on law or legal issues, you are the expert for that. Right. But if me as a doctor is talking something on legal or law, it will not make sense. Okay. In the same way, doctors are having those questions that if this particular herb, one more problem is there. In Ayurveda, the information is there, but world has evolved a lot. So there was a scientist, he discovered one ingredient in all our human beings. So it is full of cannabinoids. There are human cannabinoids as well, and there are plant-based cannabinoids also. Oh. And in human, there is one very interesting molecule, and he named that because it is related to happiness. And the name you will surprised to know is Anandamide. And Anand means happiness in Sanskrit. So the scientists discovered that Anandamide is one of the key ingredient, which again has the potency of enhancement through hemp or cannabis as well. So I'm just correlating this how it is able to convert the negativity into positivity because it is boosting Anandamide in each one of us.
Right. Is it dopamine also? That's how.
Kind of. So in that way, we need to understand that the entire cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, this plant is very, very dynamic.
Right.
And there is a huge amount of information which is available globally. So I think I was one of the first doctor who qualified the advanced level of certification from Academy of Medical Cannabis London. And I published first book also on medical cannabis in this country as a doctor, as an author.
Right.
So that journey we did to make sure that people should talk about this first of all.
Yes.
They are not afraid of talking about this. They are not afraid of practicing about this. They are not afraid of recommending this to their patients. And unlikely the chemical-based solutions, we have seen, for example, specifically in pain management, specifically in insomnia or psychological issues, specifically in digestive issues like IBS or IBDs, specifically in the quality of life improvement of cancer patients. In these, some specific issues I have seen medical hemp or medical cannabis along with Ayurveda is working very well for us. And that can be one of the reasons that we are one of the highest rated or one of the leading Ayurveda, you can say, platform as well as treatment providers right now in this country.
I agree with you. So just taking the conversation a little forward, doctor, we were talking about correlation, of course, just as you described. Now, if we say that one side there is allopathy, the other side there is Ayurveda. Different sets of people, they have their own faiths in respective fields. Have you met doctors who are practicing allopathy but they still believe and they have faith in Ayurveda? Can you quote a few things?
But a very relevant point you have mentioned, because our respected government, Prime Minister, the entire ecosystem wants to have integration in a very positive way. So we all talk about China, but China has very beautifully infused their Chinese system of medicine along with the allopathic system of medicine in many hospitals in China. And if you go to any part of the world, Chinese system of medicine is still making $1 billion of business as compared to Indian system of medicine, that is Ayurveda.
Right.
So if you talk about numbers also. Now that has been understood by few allopathic doctors in our country as well. We are working with many allopathy doctors. There is a beautiful model where on one side there are allopathy doctors, on one side there are Ayurveda doctors, and they are joining hands and they are healing people. Many leading hospitals of this country have done that. Medanta was doing that and is doing that right now. Apollo recently acquired Ayurveda hospitals. Now it is Apollo Ayurveda and they are doing the integration model beautifully. Many other doctors, Dr. Jain is there from Meerut. He has been on our platform. He's an orthopedic surgeon and managing the post-surgery infections with a team of Ayurveda doctor and Ayurveda medicine, by the way. So there are so many real-time allopathic hospitals and doctors who are practicing allopathy and also integrating or infusing Ayurveda. Right. Many doctors are working with us in a you can say fortification or an addition model. Right. And sometimes the chemical based medicines also get reduced or sometimes maybe not required. If it is not required, they are also fine that we also don't want to carry on if it is not required.
Right.
I was the only male Ayurveda doctor in the last PCOS conference where all the female gynecologists were there. And when I presented my case study on PCOD and PCOS, and when they have seen the sizes are getting reduced in the ultrasonography reports, right. The fibroids are getting dissolved. So they were also surprised that yes, Ayurveda is working, and they all said that we want to work in integration. Yeah. We want to reduce our failures. But there are very few people with that kind of mindset can involve a kind of an ecosystem in our country. So this is a work in progress for all of us, and but people like you who are coming up with these kind of podcasts, I think will make more sense, and the more content we will create around that. Yes. It will like at least being visible or seen by certain related professionals, and we can enhance this integration approach.
That's true, doctor. I think in near future we would see a large amount of collaboration happening between allopathy and Ayurveda. Yes. For good. Because with daily lifestyles, I'm sure people are struggling like anything. And of course, if they get a ready-made solution, then why would people not want to adopt that?
Absolutely.
And just from a perspective of people, I would want to know that in terms of treatment, which is more expensive? Is it allopathy that actually burns the pocket, or is it Ayurveda, which is equally affordable? To me, I feel that Ayurvedic treatment and medicines are very much affordable. But just to give a perspective to our viewers, how would you suggest this?
See, I will again give 3 examples. Last year, IRD, Insurance Regulatory Authority of India, they have issued a circular where Ayush cover is now mandatory in all the insurance policies. And those hospitals which are NABH, our hospitals is also in the process of that accreditation, you can get the cashless or reimbursement as you are getting in the allopathic ecosystem.
Right.
So it will not burn your pocket. You have a medical insurance, you can avail that in most of the Ayurveda hospitals also. Right. Second, if you talk about the overall expense and overall investment, sometimes it starts from few hundreds to few thousands, or sometimes, see, it depends. Like for example, I will give you 3 examples. So one case where they were about to go for a liver transplant, which is around costing 25-30 lakhs or more than that also in some hospitals, is being managed or healed by us in few thousands sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes we have renal stone patients, there again packages are in some few thousands or lakhs, are again getting healed in maybe 1/10 or 1/20th or sometime 1/50th of the cost.
That's wonderful.
People are spending lakhs, again I'm not criticizing any pathy here,
right.
But people are spending lakhs in certain procedures, still they are not able to conceive.
Right.
Which again, so Ayurveda medicine generally starts from few thousands. Therapies also start, it's not that expensive by the way.
Right.
But yes, if you are seeking some quality medicines, some quality treatments, and you are fighting the diseases which you have taken medicine. So for example, one patient was asking, Dr. Saab, I am taking this BP medicine from last 20 years. So how fast will Ayurveda work and how expensive it will be? I said, first of all, calculate the total cost you have invested in this medicine from last 20 years. It will be cheaper than that. Second, you have spent 20 years. Are you ready to spend 20 weeks?
Right.
So it is as faster as that.
Yeah, I think that was the smartest way to put it and give an example. Right. Yeah, because, I wanted to know from the perspective of the people who are spending and putting their money. So blindly, when we are talking about, science and allopathy and maybe modern medicines, people automatically think, okay, that is going to be the expense and we are prepared for it. So might as well people know that Ayurveda, you can get yourself cured in speed. You don't have to burn your pockets every time. And if you are under that treatment, then it's for life. You're getting that treatment for life and you are curing yourself safely. That's the most
But
important.
thanks to government, we have all these government hospitals these days where people are getting treated in peanuts in sometimes nominal fee or free of cost as well. And the middle class or upper middle class or HNIs, as per their paying capacity, there are clinics, there are hospitals. So it's not that expensive. It's not, again, how fast and how timely you take decision to get healed from Ayurveda.
Right.
It depends on that. So accordingly, we can think of.
Yeah. So, doctor, now that you have very well put it on the podcast and very clearly for my viewers that there is cure for IVF, there is cure for obesity, there is also cure for, just as we were talking about, blood pressure. There is cure for possibly everything that we discussed. Now let's come slightly to skin diseases. You think that we can also treat that? Ayurveda can treat skin diseases as well, with certain examples if you can give
So
it.
first of all, let me edit your statement. Cure again is a word where people can object. So we focus on the word that is heal. Healing means you are in a stage. For example, you mentioned about 2-3 diseases. I will come to then skin. For example, diabetes. You are healing in terms of your insulin levels improving. You are healing in terms of your chemical-based medicines are reducing or getting stopped. You are healing in terms of any lifestyle disorders is reversing. You are leading a medicine-free life. You are healing in terms of your sizes are getting reduced in the reports. So those are healings which we are doing in all those issues. Then as far as the skin is concerned, anything from your hair, starting from hair fall, controlling hair fall, or hair removal, permanent hair removal, to the pain of your toe. Maybe due to high level of uric acid, you can have pain in your toe.
Right.
Anything from your again hair to your toe, which is in your body. If not required immediate surgery, means you are at a life-threatening situation. If surgery will not be done in next few hours, you will not be saved. If you are in that state, do not risk your life. But apart from that, if you have skin issues like, for example, pigmentation, be it hyper or hypo, psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis, urticaria, people are getting rashes and daily they are taking chemical based medicine, otherwise every 24 or 48 hours again there will be rashes and itching.
Right.
So there are so many skin issues which we are healing with Ayurveda in a very simple manner. And it's not about us. Many people in this country are healing vitiligo, leukoderma, that is white patches. Your pigmentation, as I said. Psoriasis, autoimmune disorder where scaling and patches are there, eczema, dermatitis. Everything is getting managed, and there are so many Vaidyas who are dealing skin issues and skin disorders, have a very good solution in Ayurveda in terms of medicines, and there are certain Panchkarma therapies.
Right.
In Ayurveda, by the way, the facial steps which we are doing right now has been beautifully explained as Mukh Prakshalan,
Right.
that is cleaning of your face, Mukh Shodhan, that is scrubbing or toning of your face, Mukh Abhyangam, that is massage, Mukh Lepam, that is your pack, and Mukh Poshan, that is your serum.
Right.
So our acharyas have described everything thousand of years back, and they have asked us to do facial every month, by the way. It's just the beauty parlors have, or maybe the people have put it in that way that is a beauty parlor thing or facial is that. No. Facial is just a 5-step cleansing of your face, which you should do at least maybe 15 days, if not possible, once in a month.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing, then I don't think you are liking your face.
I think it's more of a detoxification for your own skin. Like,
It's not only
you're just
detoxification.
rejuvenating your skin.
Yes,
Your
yes.
cells are becoming better.
Yes.
Because with fingertips, I think that's the first way to hydrate and moisture and, give the
Yes.
right amount of, I think the pressure also which is needed for face fatigue. So it's just very beautifully put. In fact, I'll take a few seconds to appreciate the fact that you also told us the difference between curing and healing, which, as a layman, one would just use the term cure, and you suggested that, it heals you. So that sounds even better. So I'm sure that people can relate to what you just explained them. Now, doctor, we have relatively discussed everything. I will again come back to adolescents and children. How do you think that in today's world, when, children are on packed foods, children are not really on the fields the way maybe in our times we used to be, and their lifestyle disorders are highly impacting their, mentality, highly impacting their focus. How does Ayurveda play a role in that for children?
See, again, as a parents, like for example, when we are talking about kids, So first of all, we need to understand there is a significant generation shift happened. I will come to Ayurveda in a few moments, but let's first understand, which I want to convey on this platform, that in our times when we were kids, like for example, if we are in 40s or 50s, when we were kids or maybe in 30s also, the scenarios were different, and today the scenarios are different. Why?
Yes. Yeah.
Because that younger generation, or like I also have kids, and I have seen under 10 especially, their IQ, their EQ, both are much evolved than us. But the problem with parents sometimes is that we don't want to understand that, and it's better as early as possible we make friends with them. Although we should be in control of discipline, but we should be friendly with them. The more we are friendly, the better it should be.
And why do you say that?
As I said, their IQ and their EQ is far, far evolved than us. In earlier times, we used to get beaten from our parents, but this new generation should not be. That is very, very specific, very, very clearly I want to put it here. And they are in one of the most vulnerable stages also sometimes. So let's be very understanding on that. In Ayurveda, again, beautifully Ayurveda has explained that when you are raising a child or a kid, there are phases where it starts from Garbh Sanskar, like we discussed about infertility, we left one topic. So when the couple has a thought that they have to achieve the parenthood, mother and father stage, starting from that thought, Garbh Sanskar should start. Purity of thoughts, purity of their physical, mental health, so that in their purest form they can achieve
Right.
a parenthood, the female can conceive. Then the 9 months of pregnancy, she should be very specific what to eat, what not to eat, what to see, what to listen, what to do, what not to do, because that is the time where the baby is getting nourished and flourished in her inside. And after the delivery, at least till the time of lactation, the feeding, again the mother should be very, very sensible, the father and the entire family should create that kind of ecosystem. And after that, at various ages of kids, like for example, these days there is a very critical...
This is for real. This conversation is for real.
Yes.
Like people today, I think if you speak to the younger generation, they don't really believe in such kind of conversation, but this is a fact.
No, actually, you need to understand the environment which we are creating
Yes.
around us is very, very significant for the people who are coming in this world.
It's true. Yeah.
Either decide and do it positively, or please do not decide.
Yeah.
It's a very important responsibility that you are bringing another life in this world.
Yes.
And you should be at your purest form at least that time of your life.
I'm so glad you put that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there has to be very cordial kind of a, environment wherein if you are bringing in a life, if you can't give that proper environment, then yeah, there's no point.
And after that also, till their adulthood, till they are able to make their decisions on their own, you as a parent or a family should stand with them, but should not poke them unnecessarily, should listen to them first and then speak to them, should understand what they have in their thoughts and then decide or judge about them. So these are basic things which sometimes we are missing, especially in the cases of puberty these days.
Right.
And males are more sensitive than females in the new generation.
Okay.
Please remember that. Females have evolved. Females are far better than males right now in the younger generations.
All right.
So you need to be very, very specific and very, very understanding about that as well. In that way, we need to understand that this new generation is sensitive, although sensible, intelligent, but sometimes vulnerable, emotionally stable also, but emotionally unstable also sometimes. And to that level where they are getting more into suicides and more into harmful decisions of their life as compared to the previous generations, because we always got a sometimes more number of family members or more number of people to talk about compared to these days.
Right.
So at least in the nuclear families or in families where sizes are getting small, the communication should grow.
Right.
The problem is in between the families, communications are also getting lesser or smaller as compared to families.
Very well put, doctor. I think this was a basic thing that any couple should first understand and then plan a family. And that's how Ayurveda is going to come in play for adolescents and children. So my last question, not the least, but I want to know your views. How do you see Ayurvedic practice, medicines, curing people, healing people, say like 10 years from now? Where do you where do you see, is there going to be a global shift? Are we going to be considered as a country that has left an impact on the entire world with Ayurveda practice and medicines?
So recently, this year, in fact, in 2025, Government of India has recognized 23rd September as an Ayurveda Day.
Yes.
As we all celebrate International Yoga Day on 21st of June, in last 9 years, Ayurveda has been celebrated 2 days before the Diwali, that is Dhanvantri Jayanti or Ayurveda Day.
Right.
But there was no fixed date. This year it has been fixed as 23rd of September. Now moving forward, every year 23rd September will be celebrated as an Ayurveda Day.
Okay.
This year we are also doing one event where more than 150 countries, the Ayurveda Conclave will be live, and more than 100 speakers across 50 countries will join, and we will ensure that globally this message should pass on that Ayurveda, again, as per our respectable Prime Minister, it's a soft power of India.
Right.
It's a knowledge, first of all, we all Indians should be proud of. There are so many positivities about this system as well. Irony is this system has not been discussed as a system till now.
Yes.
People are selling products, people are making millions and billions from Ayurveda, people are selling services, people are selling massages, people are selling this and that. And one more irony is, more than Ayurveda doctors and Vaidyas, quacks are promoting Ayurveda, which is dangerous. So the more registered Ayurveda doctors and Vaidyas should come forward. Again, we are thankful that you are doing this podcast with a registered Ayurveda doctor and a Vaidya, not a quack promoting Ayurveda.
Yes.
So that is very dangerous, that is very harmful. We need to understand those aspects, and then accordingly, if we create this kind of right content,
Right.
I think Ayurveda will be heard. And Ayurveda does not need any you can say validation.
Right.
It has been well
Above
researched.
all, yeah.
It has been well researched, well documented. It just we need to rediscover the things. We need to realign those fundamentals and those diet, lifestyle principles, and with certain herbs and certain procedures. If we are realigning that, everybody wants to live better. Everybody wants to live younger. Everybody wants to live a good quality of life. So on a conclusion note, I will say that whatever is your actual number of age, whatever your age is there in numbers, you can reduce that to at least 4 to 5 years if you follow Ayurveda as maximum as you can. Okay. We are very soon starting that concept of longevity with the help of certain AI tools. So keep following us, keep connecting with us.
Yes.
So you will be discovering first of all your biological age as compared to your actual age, and then you will be on a journey or a path of reducing that to say few years. And how you can reduce? You can reduce your number of diseases if you have. You can reverse certain them. If you are disease free, you can improve your quality of life. You can improve your physical strength. You can improve your mental strength. You can improve your focus. You can better in your energies. You can better in your thoughts. So all these, the WHO definition of health is physical, mental, social, emotional, and we will add it to spiritual.
Right.
So if you are healthy in 5 aspects, you are better, and you can reduce your age also.
I think by far, Doctor, this has been a very interesting podcast because it has also touched day-to-day problems, day-to-day lifestyle struggles, and a lot of myths that we have busted on this episode today, wherein, you know, people, they also like to know that how we can inculcate Ayurveda in our life. So I think you have served it so well in this podcast that I don't know if people would have more questions to it. And I'm very grateful that you could take out time from your busy schedule and, you know, speak on this podcast today to let people know that this futuristic conversation, and we see Ayurveda only growing and only growing. That's what I feel now at the moment after having the conversation with you. Thank you so much for all your time.
My pleasure, and thank you again for inviting us on this platform.
Thank you so much.